What's up, family, and welcome back to the shift. Today, I got my girl, Alicia. This
Hello.
is my newfound girlfriend at 50. And Alicia, if you want to mention your age,
40.
50 and 40, okay? And so today we are talking about
I'm 40.
establishing relationships later on in life.
Oh, I love it.
Okay.
Yes.
So
yes.
now I go to Alicia's church
Mhm.
and we kind of just clicked. We kind
We
of just
did.
hit it off. I don't even remember what. Oh, I remember
Mhm.
I had, since y'all was so close
Yes.
and I walked down near your house, I text your husband and said, "Do you think your wife might want to walk one day?" And he
Mhm.
was like, "Yeah, let me ask her." And so I'm gonna be honest, girl. On the way down there, right, I had to drive to the park, and
Mhm.
I was thinking to myself, "What am I going to talk to with this woman? I don't know her from a can of paint.
I
I don't
felt the
know.
same way.
I don't know. Did
I felt the
you?
same way.
Oh my
I
gosh!"
was nervous.
And see, here's the thing. I wasn't nervous,
Mhm.
but I was like, I've only spoken to you in church, say hi. Now,
Mhm.
I am a people person, so it doesn't take a lot for me to, strike up conversation,
Mhm.
but I didn't know, what your personality type was.
Mhm.
I didn't know if I was going to be a little overbearing because y'all know I'm loud. Okay, I'm loud. So I ain't know what sis was about, but the moment I got out that car, you was standing there waiting for me, girl. We hit it off
Yes, we
and
did.
talked a whole mile up and a whole mile back.
Yes.
Now I'm gonna ask you, since you told me that you were nervous. Why were you nervous? What made you so nervous?
I was nervous. I think because for me, I am a people person
Okay.
to a certain extent.
Oh, okay.
I
All
think
right.
as I've gotten older, I was much an extrovert for many years, and then
Mm-hmm.
when I stopped certain things, I started to realize I'm an introvert in many ways. And
That's
so,
very
which
interesting.
is interesting, when you stop certain vices in your life, you start to realize who
Realize
you
who you
really
are. How
are.
about
Yeah.
that?
But I was
Yeah.
so nervous because I don't I was thinking the same thing in terms of what am I going to talk about? Is she going to find me interesting? Like, just in my head about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know how to just let things be.
Right.
And so I'm like thinking about, what does she like? What does she like to talk about? What if we don't have the same interest? It was very, like, I was in my head the whole time. And then I
Oh,
was
so
like filling in the gaps too. Like, what if there's moments of silence? What do you say? That's
now I don't know if I'm gonna tell you, I didn't take it that deep,
hmm
but I am mindful because I didn't know if you were an introvert or
hmm
extrovert. And like I said, sometimes introverts, I can be a little overbearing for an
I feel
introvert.
like you make me extrovert when I'm around you because
Oh,
your
so I make
energy,
you come.
yes, you make me
Oh,
comfortable to
I
come
love
out.
it. I love, you know what?
So as
You
soon as you start talking, I was like, I love her.
You
That's how I
are the
felt.
second person. I have another girlfriend, Tehran. Tehran is a little older than me. And
Mhm.
Tehran, like the whole time, I'm like, oh, she's an introvert. Okay. So when we would walk, child, Tehran be like, yep, 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 yep. And I was like, wait, I
What's
thought
the-
she was an introvert or something. And then one day she came out of nowhere and said, I'm more of an introvert. She said, but when
Mhm.
I'm around you,
Yes.
you make me feel comfortable. And
hmm
I was like, oh,
That's
that
exactly what it
warmed
is.
my heart.
Because I don't, not with everybody. Like, I
Okay.
gotta fill you out, and I just, and like when you're in this stage of your life, sometimes, and we talked about this earlier, you don't really. It's hard to bring in new relationships
Yeah,
because you
I
kind of
agree.
feel like you already have the people or whatever,
Right,
or
right,
you're
right.
kind of set in your ways and how you do things.
Or life could kick your butt so bad at times
That
that you be
part.
like, you know what? I think I'm good right here.
That part. Because
Yeah.
women is and I'm sure you heard this, it can be difficult with some women.
Yes.
You meet some women and you think it can go a certain way of, like, okay, maybe this will become a friendship, and you realize like there's some pettiness involved, some
Sure.
drama, it,
Sure.
it or being fake, which
Okay.
I can't stand that.
Okay.
But again, like I said with you, it was just like, wow, I feel like I've known her for years.
Well, yeah, I appreciate that. I
Yeah.
really do. I don't know how to show up other than who I am,
Mhm.
really. I
Mhm.
don't. And so I just come in as me, even when, other places, and then I begin to read the room, and then
Mm-hmm.
it's like, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, no, you know what? I probably won't be back. You
That.
know what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to, and then I don't study people enough to know when they're fake. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? If we don't flow, then okay,
Mm.
I know where to put you. You don't go on the front seat
Yeah.
of my life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm the type that, like, I don't listen. One person said to me, "Don't let people pick you. You pick them."
Mm-hmm.
But I just like a natural flow.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
That's what I think
then
I'm afraid of sometimes. For me,
okay,
um, like I said, when I stopped certain things in my life, I found out who I really am in certain cases.
let's get into that because
Okay.
this is your second time saying
I
it.
know.
When you stop, what's certain
So
things?
just so those things that give you a little bit of courage. So
Oh, oh,
in
so
terms of
wait a minute. You you,
I'll
you
be
smoke weed
I
before?
smoke the weed
Ooh, child, I never did
and
go now. Let me can I tell you a secret there? Born and raised all around the North Philly all day.
they
How
got
about
to
it's
give
still
you.
it's still on my bucket list?
No,
Lord
it ain't.
Jesus, it's
She
legal.
ain't doing.
It's legal.
No, she ain't doing it. She gonna be on this podcast. It's like, so we here with another
No,
episode.
I know. I can't even listen. I told my husband, I said, I want to smoke weed one day, and if
She
I
do it.
do, I got to be with you because I don't know. What if I take my clothes off and try to run out? He was looking
It
at me
you gonna
sad.
have adverse effects.
See, no, I can't. I
God
can't.
gonna
Like,
get you.
well, yeah, yeah. I like to talk. I ain't gonna do it, but I always like the smell of it back in the day. I don't like
Mm-hmm.
this new smell. This smell like
You don't know what's
skunk.
in it. You
This
probably don't.
smell like skunk, right? And that's another reason why I know I'm not going to do it
Mm-hmm.
because I don't want to hit it. Next thing you know, my heart said, "Poof!" Like, oh, she done had
We
a
get
heart
phone
attack.
calls about it.
She's a goner. Let me stop.
And that's that part, right? And
Right.
then also drinking. So I
Okay.
was with people who did that all the time. So
Okay.
I didn't know how to have just regular what I learned about myself. I didn't know how to have regular conversation with people outside of that.
Get out of
Which isn't that
here.
crazy? I feel so
Well,
I
I mean, it's
feel
not
so weird.
crazy. It's just it's different,
Yeah.
because people say to me, "Girl, you don't even drink," and I'm like, "Oh dang, let me bring it in," because I don't. It's
Yeah.
just I'm just one of those.
That shows the level of comfort you have for yourself, and that's what I was trying to achieve after I stopped those things. I feel like
Okay,
I've gotten there. There's some things I still overthink, but I
yeah,
feel like I'm getting there. It's something, it's a level of freedom to be the type of
yes.
person you are, to be
Mm.
comfortable with yourself. But when I
Thank
stopped
you.
those
I
things,
appreciate
yeah, of
that.
course.
But a lot of times it's also it comes with uh people look at me and say, "Oh, she's conceited." But
Really,
yeah, like when you
I
don't
would
know
never have
me and you
thought that.
looking from the outside in because
Mm,
of the confidence. But
okay.
my confidence comes from like when you know who you are in Christ.
Yes,
Girl,
that
you know
right there.
that right
That right
there.
there.
You know what I mean? And so
Yeah,
it's just like if he's for you, who could be against you?
that's right.
You know what I mean? And then I've learned that I am not everybody's cup of tea. I just
Mm,
can't be, and it's okay, and vice versa. And it's okay. We respect each other and
hmm
we keep it pushing.
That's right. And
You
like you
know,
said, you want to flow and connect naturally with people. Some
yes.
people you will, and some
Yeah.
people you won't. It is what it
It
is.
is what it is. And I
Yeah.
also believe that God gives us different personalities. He said he knew us before. He formed us
Yes. Before
before,
we
and
was in the womb.
yes, and
Yes.
so
Yep.
he already put it in us how we were supposed to be,
Yeah.
and what. But then life is, and then it
hmm
causes us to retreat, or and how you were raised, and all of that kind of stuff. So
hmm
I remember just being bold, even as a child. My
Wow.
mom would say to me, I'm surprised you said that. I was a child and I would say stuff or do stuff.
hmm
I was always a go getter
hmm
because that's how God designed me.
Yeah.
And I have been made to feel like the way that I'm designed is wrong. Like, oh, you
Mm.
the loudest one in the room is the most insecure and
Wow.
stuff like that. And
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, wait,
Why?
when am I? Like,
hmm
am I? No. I just
Wow.
love life.
That's right.
You know, I just love life. And so, but I will say this.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised when my husband came along. It was like this all. I want all this loudness. I want it all.
Yeah.
Because he's so quiet, you
Yes.
know. But that man right there has made me feel so loved and comfortable, you
Yes.
know. And it makes me think of you and your husband
Mm-hmm.
because when you guys came over, we had such a good time for
We
dinner and we
did.
just flowed. And I love it because your husband is just raw.
Yes.
And I love it.
I
That's
love it too. I needed that.
yes.
We
In what way?
I always say we're like yin and yang.
Yes,
Like,
yes, yes.
so um he said this about me before too. Stuff goes over my head a lot.
Yeah, yes.
So for somebody like him to come into my life and be so raw, he's very protective, and I needed that. When you say in what way, I needed that because I would let so many different types of people in my life. I would let so many things fly. I would just let things in that
Yes.
it was like, it was dangerous. It was
Oh,
dangerous. So
okay.
he's that part that is like where I can be very I don't even know what the word
He
is. He
balances.
balances
Yeah.
that my heart, because my heart
Okay.
can be super kind. I can let people in
Mm.
so quickly, and he can be the one that sees like you ain't see all those flags. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And so
wow.
he
Okay.
balances me in that
That's
piece.
good. And so how long have you all been married?
We've been married 11 years.
11 years. Good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
Together
good.
15,
Listen.
married 11 years.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So is he your ideal?
Yeah, so he is now. When I
Okay.
first I did not think that I would be with Mark, somebody that looked like a dark skinned guy, bald, I feel like
Yeah.
I'm an inch taller than him.
Was that a
Um
problem? Because a lot of my other
it's
girlfriends like, listen, girl, I'm not getting with nobody that's an inch shorter than me.
it's
Like,
not a problem. It's
okay,
not a problem. But
okay,
I'm just saying I don't know if I'm been ever been that girl that's had a type.
okay.
Um but I just, when I look at him and I think about what I was kind of chasing or into,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he was different. He was
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
And I'm
yeah.
just so grateful that he loved me as I was. And he didn't let
Yes.
me he met me and I was in a state of
Mm-hmm.
just doing what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But he was patient with me.
Mm-hmm.
It was things he communicated. It was like, you should really curb that. You need to stop this and there. And I thank God that I did. I did.
Yes. I love that. I
Yeah,
love because the Lord knows what we need,
he
you
does.
know, and we may have this idea of the type of man that we want or whatever, but the
Yes.
Lord was like, boom, here
Yes.
you go right there, you know, because I know for me, I
Mhm.
know my husband just accepted all of me,
Yes.
you know, and I
Mhm.
was like a wild banshee.
Yes.
I
Mark
was.
says a breastfed child running wild. That's that's what we was. Yes.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was just like he just
Mhm.
still loved me and was like,
Mhm.
and he would say, and he was so patient. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I know he gonna be out soon. Like he
Yeah.
gonna leave
Yes.
soon, you
Yes.
know. But no, he just loved me through
Yeah. Yeah.
so much that I didn't even know that I needed, you know.
Mhm.
But one of the things he would say is, how and why do you go from 0 to 10 in like one
A
second?
second.
Like, how is that possible? But that was my life.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything else. I didn't
Mhm.
know what patience looked like.
Mhm.
I didn't know what, calm and tranquility. I didn't know
Mhm.
those. I really didn't. I
I
didn't know
didn't
those
either.
things. And so he
Mhm.
brought those things and just like balanced them out.
Yeah.
And then even because we met in church, you guys, where did you meet?
We met on a subway platform
Oh,
downtown.
oh,
Yep.
okay, okay.
Our story is a little bit different, but we met on a subway platform, and he told me I was. So he said playing double dutch because I didn't know which side was the express or local.
Okay, okay.
And he told me, and I remember this little bald head coming out of this layered scarf. He had that infinity scarf on or whatever. So, and we didn't talk after he told me, and I thanked him. I didn't see him for some time. Like
Mhm,
it probably was
mhm.
a month or two, and then I saw him again and we connected. But even then, it was some time before we really like said, "I like you."
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
it was nice.
Well,
Mm.
that's good. Now, is he who you thought when it comes down to leadership? Did you have an idea of what a husband should
No.
be? You know, because for me, I think I had this fantasy thing because I didn't have an example as to what is a husband, what is a man,
Yes.
you know what I mean? And so I had this thing going on in my head that was all wrong,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know, but like now I couldn't ask or wish any better
Yes.
for
Yeah.
myself. I'm not just saying that.
Mhm.
I'm so grateful for the man of God that he put in my life. I'm
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah.
So like what was your
It,
ideal or what did you think? Like,
I had no reference except for my fantasies, except what I've seen on TV. I grew up my single mother raising
okay.
two girls, so my mom dated a lot. I seen different guys
Mm,
come in, and I only knew of two guys that really showed up when I
mhm.
was young, and they were. I felt like they had good character, but I still
Okay.
didn't know what a husband is supposed to be.
Mhm.
And so by the time I met Mark, I was very independent, used to doing things on my own, taking a
Yeah.
will.
Mhm.
So I just felt like, you need to go along with what I feel is right.
Yes.
So, because I already know what to
Yes.
do, what I felt like I knew what to do. But yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
have any blueprint. I didn't know what to go by. I don't think he did either.
Mhm.
Um, well, no, I'm lying. He did. His mom Trudy, he saw Pop Mike
Okay.
through the years, so he knew. But I had no reference, so I had to learn how to give up the will
Yeah.
several times on several occasions. Still sometimes
Mhm.
by default want to kind of take control.
Mhm.
And then I had to learn how to submit that
Mhm.
part and knowing
Mhm.
that that's not a bad word. That submission part.
I love it.
Yeah.
And before, like the way that the world sees it, right? Because I
Mhm.
remember, you know, my husband said to me, I don't want, this is before we got married. I don't, and we've been married 22 and a half years now, but I don't want you to have to work for money. I
Mhm.
want you to work because you found something that you really love to do. So don't work until you do that, right?
Mhm.
And I remember telling my dad, I was like, you know, he said this, so I'm gonna quit my dad was like, no, don't you quit your job. You know, you need to have your own. But of course, he
Mhm.
didn't know. He's going by whatever his mind tells him. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Because
Mhm.
he didn't have a blueprint. You know, he didn't
Right.
know. And so I was just like, I'm
Yeah.
not doing that. You know what I mean? And so I did what my husband said
Yeah.
because what he says comes before anything else.
Absolutely.
And it worked out like very well. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like he supports everything I do to the
Mhm.
point where, and maybe this is, I feel like I can't even fail
Wow.
because I'm serious
Yes.
because
Yes.
he's there, you know.
Mhm.
But it took some time, just like you, for
Mhm.
me to submit because
Mhm.
I was so used to running everything. You
Yeah.
know,
Yep.
I had to, you know what I'm saying? I had to figure life out by myself. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so in adulthood, early adulthood, and I had a son.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
You was already used to that.
yes, I
Mhm.
had my own house with a mortgage and all of this. And so to submit everything at first, it was really hard. But now
Mhm.
I said to him, God forbid, but if you die today or tomorrow, I have no clue. I ain't paid
Yeah,
the bill and girl. So he,
I'm so dependent on Mark for so many
yes,
things.
for
Yes.
so many things.
Mhm.
And it's not a bad thing, but he had to sit and write out everything and put it in a folder for me. He did. Because I said,
That's a
one day
whole
I thought
structure.
about it and I was like, I'm gonna be up the creek if his time is anytime soon.
Right, and
Because
you got
I have not paid a bill in
that's so
years.
structured. Kyle is structured.
So yes.
That's a good
So I
idea.
have a folder with every single thing
That is
in it. Yeah. You
that's
gotta
amazing.
get you one. So
Yeah.
tell your husband to
Do a folder, do a
yeah.
binder
Yes,
for
yes.
me.
Yep. It's a binder. So,
Wow.
you know, he go on a trip, you know what about it, because who knows if the plane going do
You
what
never
you
know.
never
You
know.
never know.
You know, and
You know.
so yeah, I'm grateful for that. So having a man of God,
Mhm.
right? Do you or did you feel like he was that godly leadership at
Mhm.
first
Mhm.
that you needed, or was it something where he had to grow into that thing and still growing? Because you know
Mhm.
we shift all the time.
I okay. I feel like he was that godly leadership that I needed, but I fought against so hard all the time. Like, because before I met Mark, I knew that I prayed, like, I was doing wild things, but I
Okay.
still knew Christ, and I was like, God, I want to live right.
Yeah.
But you keep going back to
Yeah.
the sin.
To what's comfortable
Right.
and
And so when I met him, there were things that were I was not used to, and I was like, wow, he's so different. He's like, caring about me, talking about the Lord and all
yes.
this stuff. But I just wasn't ready to give up certain things. So that's why I would fight against it. I would fight against.
You look so innocent. Oh gosh.
Everybody said that's what he said in the beginning. He was like, when he
You
found out all that, he was just like, you do not look like what you've done or been through.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank
You had
God.
such a baby face. So cute little hairstyle.
But I fought against it because I did not want to, like, for example, I know for me, my portals was a big thing. So like what I watched, what I listened to.
Okay.
And so I would, just indulge in certain things I shouldn't watch or whatever.
Yeah.
And even people talk about certain things. And when he would like address me and challenge me in those areas, I just would fight against it because I just wasn't ready.
Yeah.
So like small examples like that. So I do feel like he was what I needed, but I fought against it. I just, but I'm glad that I do see all of the things that he has poured into me. Like, I do see the fruits of that. I'm so glad that I continue, even in a fight, continue to submit and surrender. But it was hard.
Yeah, you're
It was
still
hard.
learning.
Yeah. And I did see him go. He came in as a good leader, but I've seen who he is now. Like, it's incredible to me. Like, when I hear him talk about certain things, me and Guy had a conversation because I felt like there were times I had to repent. I was like, God, I feel like I go to my husband for everything. Not to say that I shouldn't, but it just was like I feel like he always got the answer.
Right.
That's
right.
where he got the answer.
Yes.
But I said, Father, thank you for giving me him.
Yes.
And so I need to make sure I'm still directing. You are my source. You are my source.
But that is so good when your husband is the first person that you're like, oh, I could go to him. I'm talking about everything. And he's the one person I know he ain't gonna judge me. He know we got.
That's right.
Yes, he does it. And I'll be like, babe, I know I'm being petty, but what you think about, and he gives such sound advice.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And even if I don't do it, he don't look at me and say, well, why did you ask me if you was going to, or why, he's like, babe, I think you need to think about it. Or he won't say anything. Be like, you did what? Oh.
Okay. Yes.
Yep. And then we do that. I mean, dang, that right there just brings like, dang, maybe I should have listened. Just in his silence and his love for me, it's just like
so tender.
Yeah, so tender, girl. So you're right. That's a good word. So tender. Awesome. One of the things that he would say early on is, I study you. I study. And I'm like, no one ever studied me. Yes. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like at this point in my life, just looking back, I'm like, Lord, that man actually healed some things in me. Some little girl stuff in me. Actually, and I'm like, I didn't know I needed that. But I'm so grateful. Yes. And even when our children, to watch him be a father, it's so many times I say, I wish you was my dad. I wish you was my dad.
Yes. I said that to Mark one time. We was in a car. I was like, the way you love on Noel, like I wish I had my dad to do that for
him. Yes. And just watching him. And one day, right, my kids come to him for everything. Everything. And see, me growing up, I had to figure it out. It wasn't you know what I mean? So when my daughter came in, I can't remember what it was. He and I laid in bed. She comes in, Dad, da, 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 da. And in my head, I'm thinking, you can figure that out. Like, who can't figure that out? You know what I mean? And then, he gave her the answer. She left out. And then I said, why didn't you just let her figure it out? Yeah. Like that was, and he sat up in that bed and scolded me. He said, why should she have to figure it out when her father is right here?
Come on. And that's a message.
Immediately I was convicted. I was like, oh, that is so true. When your dad is like, why do you have to?
And you strategizing.
Yes. Like,
It's an
why?
insult.
Direction is right here. Why do she have to go fail and fix? And I
Yes.
was just like,
And even if it's confirmation that maybe she is thinking about it the right way, you know what I mean? We need our fathers. And that just made me think of the father instantly. Like, he is my source. I shouldn't be trying to, strategize, make up plans, be in control.
right,
Wow.
right.
That's
So
good.
you just being raised by a single mother,
Mm-hmm.
because I did a segment, my husband and I did the fatherless child, right?
Oh.
And did you feel like Mark was responsible for filling in some of those gaps where your father should have been?
Mm. Did I feel he was responsible for it? I don't know if I ever thought he was responsible to fill in
Or
those
like he
gaps.
should, like, or did you even notice that
I
there were
don't.
things that were lacking?
That's what. Yeah. That's. I don't. Um. I don't. So to answer your question originally, I don't think I felt he was responsible because I didn't know that. Yeah, I didn't
That
know I was there
okay.
was lack
Lack.
there.
Mm-hmm.
I really didn't know. And as I seen him how he
Mm-hmm.
navigated through my stuff,
Mm-hmm.
now I see it. When you mentioned the healing piece,
Yeah.
I have come through. He has walked me through a lot of different things
Mm.
that I did not know that I needed to be healed from. That were
Wow.
wounds,
Yes.
trauma, like
Yes.
So yeah, I don't think I thought he was responsible, but I definitely am grateful that he he filled them in where he
Right.
saw them, because some stuff he had to bring to my attention that I
Yeah.
didn't even know
Yeah.
was because my father wasn't in my life. And then things I gradually seen and how he raised Noel, how he
Yeah.
still raises Noel.
So your
Mhm.
daughter Noelle, you told me that he's been in her life since she was a baby.
Yes, she was a little one
And
before she was
so,
one.
and how was that?
Mhm.
And I know she was a baby, and this is your only child.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
So how was that having him come in, and even as she got older, disciplining? Because my son, we got married when he was 8,
Mhm.
and I remember at our wedding, our pastors talking to us in front of everybody.
Mhm.
And the wife said to me, giving us our charges, and she said, you have to let him now, into discipline. It's not just you. And
Mhm.
immediately my eyes got all watery, like, no, like that's my child. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But it's like, okay, you can love on him, you can
Mhm.
provide for him, but I do the discipline, and then
Mhm.
I do, you know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
it was just like, no, that's my
Yeah.
baby. So how was that for you
Mhm.
with
With Noel.
him, yeah, raising her?
Yeah. It was. I think it was easy because Noel was little.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and it took some stress off of me
yeah.
because I was raised, you getting smacked, you getting beat when you're doing something wrong. That
Yeah.
was my type of correction all the
Right,
time.
right.
And he brought a balance of like showing me you can't. That's not always going to be the
Mm-hmm.
solve. But it was much easier for Noah because she was little and that's all she knew. And her
Mm-hmm.
dad during that time, he's in her life now, but during
Right.
that time, for a long span of time,
He
he was just
wasn't.
really not present, all up and down. It wasn't healthy.
Yeah.
So Noel never fought it. I never fought it. I wanted him to take lead, and show her. My heart was always, I want her to know what it is to have a father because I never had one, and I want
Sure.
her to know, because of the things that happened because I was a fatherless child.
Yeah.
I don't want to happen to her. I want her to not feel awkward around men. I don't want her
Right.
to know what it is to have a father's love and not have to
Mm-hmm.
yearn for another man's
Yeah.
love. You know what I mean?
Girl. Yes.
But it was easy. And I would have to be like yelling and screaming and have to
Mm-hmm.
pop or something. He would say something and,
Yep.
she would just be in pieces and be corrected.
Right. Because
So
that was a
easy.
different level of love.
Yes.
And I agree with you. I came from the same thing. Like, you don't have a voice.
Mm-hmm.
What I say goes.
Mm-hmm.
You get popped, you get a spanking, and
That's
I,
it.
and I beat you because I love you.
Right.
Like, what? But and then it was
Yes.
the Bible says, spare the rod,
Yeah.
spoil the child. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And
Mm-hmm.
so my son, being a single mom,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I was hard on him because
Mhm.
a lot of that was still in me.
Yeah.
But then when he came along, when my husband came along, it was like, baby, you're a little too hard on him.
Yeah.
You're a little too, and I'm thinking, these soft guys, I'm
You
not
try,
raising no
I'm
soft.
raising a man.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. But how do
yes.
I know how to raise a man? I
Mhm.
didn't,
Mhm.
but just from coming from my background, from where I came from, like
Mhm.
this is what you do.
Yeah.
That you gotta stay in check, make sure he ain't go to jail, make sure this
Yes,
and that. But
yes.
my husband came in with this softer kind of love,
Mhm.
that my son did need,
Mhm.
and I do wish I could redo that. Because I
Yeah.
had him when I was 19 years old. My mom had me when she was 19. You start to see the pattern. And I'm like,
Mhm.
telling my kids, please, y'all, do it the
Yes.
right way. Don't do that generational curse stuff. No, no
Yes.
19 stuff. Let's get married. Let's work through
And
this.
that's how I was raising her. Just a sidebar, I was always correcting her in fear. It was always a
Yeah.
fear there. So
Yeah.
whenever she did something wrong, it wasn't like I'm correcting you for this moment. It was like this fear that, if I don't correct you now, you're gonna become a wild child and you're gonna be out here. It was like this whole movie reel.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
so now I'm correcting based and chastising based off of that
Yeah.
thought. So sorry to
Yeah.
cut you
And
off on
no,
that, but that was
that was
that's what I
good.
thought about for that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So we
Mm.
are going to wind this down,
Yes.
but I am here to let you guys know that there is possibility and
Mhm.
chance for a true relationship,
Yes, it is.
even in midlife, because as you can see, this is a true, genuine, authentic relationship
Yes.
that we just recently started.
Mhm.
And I'm just going to say this, and I'm going to say this on camera
Mhm.
because we only know what we know. And sometimes people can become offended by something and then shy away instead of
Mhm.
having the hard conversation. I
Yeah.
am open to you. Please have the hard conversations. If I ever
Yeah.
do anything wrong to you, just come
Aw.
and talk to me and say, listen, this is what happened. I didn't like that. And I'll readjust. I'll take it in. I'm open. People don't think I am because, but
Well, since you mentioned it, second plan, she didn't do nothing wrong. I think I really appreciate you in my life. And going back real quick to the when you first asked to walk,
Mhm.
I'm so glad that you did.
Oh.
I am. I really am. And I don't have many women in my life, and I want
Mhm.
that. So thank you for being bold and
Oh.
doing that. Your personality allows that allowed you to ask to walk with me, and then for me to meet a new friend.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
appreciate
bless
it.
God.
Yeah.
Bless God. Thank you guys for taking the time to watch me and my girl Alicia. If
Yes.
this is relatable to you, if you want to join our community, be sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, I love you guys. See you.